Welcome to our international podcast, Below the Belt. Who vex lose. Welcome, folks. Welcome. Isabella Butters, welcome and happy Saturday. Summer Jacobs, welcome to our international podcast, Below the Belt, and happy Saturday to you as well. And can't forget Beatrice Selby, welcome to the international podcast, Below the Belt, who vex lose. And I know Beatrice in vex. Good to have you, Beatrice, and Claire Alexis Charmley Richmond. Good to have you, Pauline Chalmers and Aubrey Stevens. Good to have each and every one of you. Let us know where you're joining us from. We can give that place and you a shout out as well. Matt Nell Barrow says it's bright and sunny in Brooklyn. You all take that. Pamela Sanchari is here as well. And Pamela says, good day, everyone, and happy Saturday. Abiola Benjamin and Ngwazi Griffith. Dwayne is here as well from Pennsylvania, locked in. Yep, good to have you in the house, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania locked in, they say. And this is as Dane. Welcome from Pennsylvania. Thanks for joining us, Dane. Kelvin Allen is here, and if I know anything about Kelvin Allen, I know that he's the poor people governor. Looks after the plight of the poor and the unfortunate in our society. That's what he has a passion for, brothers and sisters. Kelvin Allen, good to have you. Wilma Grant says she's joining us from Brooklyn. I know Kelvin is joining us from Canada. Wilma is joining us from Brooklyn. Orin Don Cook is here as well from Region 3. Folks at home and in the diaspora joining us. And we're going to talk about continuity of government. Lots of times you hear the question, what do AFC then? You would think we sit on our hands for 5 years. You would think the folks sat on their hands for 5 years. That's a question often asked. What do AFC ever do? Once you start bringing it to the trench crappers and the jagabats, inadvertently you always hear, what do AFC ever did? And we can tell you a couple of things. Happy that you asked. Delighted that you've asked. So we're going to talk about continuity in government. What happened to FC ever did? We might have a guest or two dropping by. Might. You never know. You never know because we're below the belt. And we're so happy that Kelvin is here and Orindon Cook. All the other beautiful folks like Sheena Hazel and Ken Short are here. Sasha Trim, Deboto. Jenny's Booker is here too. Joyce Prince Kingston is here as well. And guys, we're so happy. Hope your Saturday's out a fantastic start. Fair Lion and is it Cesare Fordyce? All these fancy names, elegant names. Mayburn and King. Mayburn, how are you doing? And Amanda Daniels and Petal Thorne and Charlene Juice Tendry is here and Courtney October is here as well. And I see Susan Kanzias and Sherry Baskin. Greenwich, Sherry joining us from Barbados. People, please and thank you. She says she's watching, she's listening. And we got Susan Kansas joining us from Myconi. Myconi people, where you all be? Where you all there, where you all at? Respect and manners to all the Myconi folks. And Edward Gonzalez, of course, joining us from the rough and tumble of the Bronx. Edward, welcome. Rock and come in. Good to have you folks. Amanda Daniels and Marcy Igard, good to see you folks. Delighted that you guys are here. Marlon King, not forgetting. Yep. Hope your Saturday's off to a fantastic start. A running start. Lindell, good to see you. Is it Lindell? Let me make sure I get that right. Make sure we get it right. Dices Mingo Byrne, we see you as well. And all the other good people. Siobhan McDonald is not to be left out. Please and thank you. Sandra Brotherson is here as well. Little Kenrick, good to have you as well. And Little is joining us from sunny London. Believe it or not, sunny London. Say hello to the British Royals for us, of course. Yep. Little, what do you think about the upcoming elections for Secretary General? Put out a piece on our website, credible sources today. Little, what do you think about the upcoming elections in Kenya? Is it Kenya? I have my country off. For the upcoming Commonwealth Secretary General election. What do you think of that? I know it's not Kenya because I know the meetings happening in the capital, Kigali. Folks, help me out. The Braylon firing all 6 today. Help me out there. Help me. Rwanda. That's where that meeting of the election of the Commonwealth Secretary General is going to happen in Kigali, Rwanda. Yep, we're going to be talking a little bit about that too. Bear with me for a second, folks. Yep. Folks, what is the weather like where you are? Before we start talking about the confusion powder happening at the Ghana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union? Before I give you an update there, what is the weather like? Well, it's sunny in London. That much we know. It's beautiful in Brooklyn. So much so, that's what the guys are telling us. Looking great. Let us know what the weather is where you are. It's a little hot where we are. Believe it or not, it's a little hot where we are. And let's see officially what the Weather Channel is telling us about where we are. Broadcasting live from the national capital city of Georgetown. And the guys are telling us what is it? Let me make sure we get it right. It's 27 degrees outside. Believe it or not, it feels that way. I would even say 30. Weather.com says in Georgetown, Guyana, Region 4, it's 27 degrees outside. It feels like 32 according to Weather.com, and this is a 19% chance it might rain. I don't mind a little something to bring down the temperature. But as the evening progresses, folks, especially those of you who are going out later on in the national capital city, in Region 4 and its adjacent areas, its allied contiguous areas, that percentage of rain increases into the evening. There's an 86% chance. It's going to rain tonight, guys. It's going to rain tonight. So if you're going out, factor in your umbrella, your raincoat, and what's not, wear proper shoes. Don't want to get your feet wet. It's going to rain tonight. And this is particular for the national capital city of Georgetown. And let me see if I can pull in what's happening, for instance, in places like Brooklyn. Let me see if we can get that. What's the weather like there? Y'all is Miami business. We can mind your own as well. Now, sir, guys, this bingo board, Brooklyn, New York. Let's see what's happening there. Oh, Brooklyn's weather is not too far off. It's 27 degrees in Brooklyn. 27 is not too far off from where we are. And Weather.com says it feels like 31 out there in Brooklyn, and there's a 1% chance of rain in Brooklyn. It's not going to rain. It's a 1% chance. It's going to rain in Brooklyn. 1%. It's not going to rain. It's not. 27 degrees outside in Brooklyn, New York, and Weather.com says it feels like 31. And I guess it's going to be fairly decent weather throughout the day. If one looks at weather.com, 27 degrees outside in Brooklyn, New York. Weather.com says it feels like 31. And that's what's happening down there. That's what's happening down there in Brooklyn. Yep. That's the forecast there, and we know that in London right now, it's 19 degrees outside. In London, it's 19 degrees outside right now. Weather.com says it feels like it's 20. So the weather the weather is a little cooler. Is it, folks joining us out of London? It's a little cooler in London right now. Is it so? Is it so? It's a little cooler in London. Weather.com says it's 19 degrees outside, but it feels like it's 20 degrees outside. And let's see what's happening in the diaspora down in or over in Canada. Let's see what's happening on that side. Again, according to weather.com is telling us that in Canada, for our folks joining us there, let's see. No doubt in different parts of Canada, you're going to get some different weather, right? Let me see. Let's go to Ontario. Ontario. Oops. Ontario. Let's go to Ontario and see. Let's see what they're telling us. Yep. 19 degrees. 19 degrees in Ontario, and they say there's a high probability of rain in Ontario. As a matter of fact, weather.com says it's what? What are they saying here? Yep. Correct. This is 19 degrees in Ontario, and it feels like 24. Folks joining us in Canada, how does it feel there? Maryland is 95 degrees, says Annette Gordon. Shirley Juice Attendry says it's 80 degrees in Brooklyn. Yep. Cycling the Earth says 84. 84 in Queens as well. Hot. Right? Yep. Sandra Boston says in Ottawa, Ontario, it's 29 degrees. And then in East Orange, New Jersey, Cyclotech says it's 96 outside in East Orange. Wow. Well, y'all know we could make it anyway. That's why y'all know. Our people got such good fortitude. We could make it anywhere, guys. We can make it anywhere. And let us pick up on an update very quickly. You all know the very contentious issue that's happening at the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union, where this interim management team, this interim board, has sought to move a no confidence motion against Trevor Benn, who has been working very hard from all accounts we have, moving this union forward by light years from where it has been in the recent past. And the members of the union aren't having it. They have signed a petition asking for a special AGM, which they can elect the members they want to serve them, and asking the current management team to step down. But folks, quite recently, there was an altercation between some of the union's membership and the management team. There was that confrontation between the union's membership and the management team, and I want to bring you guys some of that audio, folks. This thing is going from bad to worse, and I would advise the management team of the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union to do the right thing. Call a special AGM, step aside, and if you guys believe in democracy, if you guys believe in the voice of the people, then allow the people to elect who they want to serve them. If you guys have been doing well in the estimation of the union's general membership, then they're going to elect you all. Right? But this lynching and this coup does not bode well for the union and the membership of the union in having it. And if you all haven't realized that this whole thing is a total mess on you guys are not going to realize that ever. So call a special AGM and put the issue to the membership and let the membership decide who they want to lead them If it is you guys, you will get a fresh mandate from the membership. And if it's somebody else, so be it. So be it. You all tried something. You all tried this coup. You all tried this lynching, and it failed. And we gotta accept that. Call the special the special AGM. Let's get this matter fixed. It's looking bad. I don't have a better way to say it. It's looking bad, right? So here is part of that exchange by some of the unions membership and the management team quite recently, folks. Take a listen. Take a listen. All right, guys, hold for us. Hold for us. All right. All right. So I see some folks saying that they're not hearing that audio. Is that it? The guy saying they're not hearing that audio. All right. Sorry about that. They're not hearing anything. We apologize. We're going to try to bring that back to you. But as I do that, guys, you know, we did say we're talking about the continuity of government, and we often hear the question, what did APNU AFC do? What did APNU AFC do? And, you know, too often, stuff like that goes unanswered. And we have a chance today to talk about that. And in particular, one of the projects that them guys touting right now as theirs. Right now, they're touting it as their project. But we know better, and that's why we're speaking up. We know better, folks, and that is precisely why we are speaking up. Folks, we're talking in this particular instance here about the Mabura to Linden Road project. The Mabura to Linden Road project, and I am going to be joined by the, I can't find the right words perhaps to describe my brother Deron Adams out of Linden, you know, hard-working regional chairman, perhaps will have to suffice. The hard-working regional chairman out of Region 10, who has put forward, you know, a scathing critique of what they're trying to do, pull wool over our eyes, and try to pretend as though, you know, this project is so new. And, you know, Darren wrote a real decisive, incisive letter to the editor quite recently on this very subject matter of folks. Whether you're joining us at home in Guyana or in the diaspora, it should concern each and every one of us, because again, often we hear this refrain. What APNU AFC did, a lot of damn things that we do not get credit for. And in the first instance, one of them is this is initializing this Mabura to Linden Road project. Mr. Chairman, a very good day and welcome to our podcast. Yes, sir. Listeners out there, are you hearing our guest? Listeners out there, let us know if you're hearing our guest, the regional chairman, Region 10, the one and only Darren Adams. Let us know. We want to ensure that we're getting the audio clear. Yes, they can hear us clear. I see. Yeah. Um, mhm. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, Darren. Hold on for us, because the folks are telling us they're not hearing our guest, and I don't know why. Hold a second for me, Darren. Let me just make sure that we. I don't know why they're not hearing the guest. No, I don't think it's you. I don't think it's you. I think it's at my end. No audio sound. Hold on for me. Bear with us, guys. Bear with us. Let's see what this challenge is. All right. Mr. Chairman, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Shara. Do you hear me?
I am hearing you guys. Can you hear the regional chairman? Go right ahead. They're on.
Hello. Sound check. 1, 2. Good morning, listeners. Sound check. 1, 2. No audio. First
Yes,
no sound.
that's what I'm saying. I don't. Uh, d- let me try to bring you back in, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, use it. Call me on the other line. Call me on the other phone. Let's see if it will change.
Let me see. Mama said there'd be days like this. But the guy said they're hearing us both. You see, y'all? The guy said they're hearing us both. Why y'all stay, sir? Huh? All right. Mama said there'd be days like this. Days like this, Mama said. All right, let's see if we get Darren back in the discussion. Yep. And let's see if we can put this through clearer. Mr. Chairman, are you there?
Yes. Hi, Shara.
All
Good
right.
morning.
As soon as we hang up, the guy said that they can hear us. These are the challenges in the technological age, broadcasting the way we do. And Donna Liverpool says yes, I can hear you both, and Glycis Mingo Burns says yes, she can hear us both too.
All right.
So, Mr. Chairman, let's take it back from the top. I had it wrong that it was your letter, and you've said
Yes.
that letter, the
Yes.
attribution is former Minister of Infrastructure David Patterson, who wrote that fantastic letter. And I was so written so fantastically, Mr. Chair, I thought it could have been you. Apologies
Well,
nonetheless.
I'm actually grateful that former Minister David Patterson, of course, recognizing that there was going to be a big pump on scene tomorrow,
Hmm.
would have found it appropriate, and the timing was so um, welcomed that we were able to deliver accurate information to the people of Region 10.
Hmm.
Of course, and as he indicated, he wanted to highlight the facts before the cameras started flashing and other persons attempted to take the credit for what happened yesterday. That was, of course, the signing of the contract for the Linden to Mabura Road project.
Mm-hmm.
He indicated that no doubt, of course, and he was right, the usual suspects would have been loud in praise yesterday for the current administration. Of course, they attempted to make it appear as though they were the ones who initiated this project and made it a reality. And so he articulated that it was in 2015 in an effort to reconnect with its former colonies who they felt were moving more towards China for their infrastructure needs, that the UK government offered 7 Caribbean countries a grant of 300 million sterling to execute landmark projects.
Mm-hmm.
And so Guyana's portion of that grant back in 2015 amounted to 55 million sterling. And so several projects were submitted for consideration by the then Ministry of Public Infrastructure under David Patterson, namely the Linden to Mabura Road, the fixed bridge crossing at Kabururu, the Letem Regional Airport upgrade, and the Parika Stelling upgrade. Now, I want listeners to know this could not have been a project that was conceptualized by the current administration, because for 23 years they were in power and they never made it a front burner issue. Of course, we were denied that road from 92 up until 2015. And so it was when the coalition government came to power that this became a front burner, or it was placed high on the agenda, the Linden to Mabura Road. And so that road was selected out of the list that I just called as the most viable project. And so the feasibility study and design works for this project commenced in 2016. And several rounds of consultations were held with communities in Region 8, 9, and 10 on this project. I was a part of those consultations, the mayor, several leaders in the region.
Mm-hmm.
And so the final design for the road, those were completed in 2019. And of course, the loan agreement was signed in 2020. Of course, while all of this was happening, we were crowded out. All of this information was, of course, placed because of the elections petition, because of the elections, and of course Charandas and all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Mm-hmm.
things took the media's attention. So while everyone should rightly, I say, be pleased to see this long talked about road linkage come to fruition, don't be fooled or misled that it is only now being considered and implemented. It was happening since 2015, 2016. In fact, on the day, and that's what I was concerned when I mentioned to our guests, to your listeners, that the region was being targeted strategically and intentionally.
Uh-huh.
There were attempts to actually have this project, even in this final stage, possibly removed from consideration, because they knew rightfully that there was a context in the agreement that spoke to stability in the region. And so Region 10 was being targeted. You notice handcuffs were placed on the hospital gate.
Yeah,
They locked out nurses.
correct.
They provoked protest action, persons head to the bridge. And I was appealing to our residents not to be baited, because that is what they want, to say to the international community why the project should not continue, because the region is not a stable region,
Uh-huh.
and investors may not want to come here. So we're happy that because we were able to expose these things, and of course David Patterson, who wrote this scintillating letter, this brilliant letter, we were able to get viewers to understand how this project's perspective from the time it was conceptualized to now. Of interest is that in 2019, and I want the listeners to hear me clearly, David Patterson said in 2019, the PPP informed the UK CIF, which is the United Caribbean Infrastructure Partnership Fund, that the Linden to Mabura Road project was not a priority project for their party. And if they were successful in the upcoming elections, they will cancel the project.
Mm-hmm.
The response by the UK was unequivocal. They said to the government, the current government, if you cancel this project, we will be canceling our funding. We will cancel our funding. And so they were under pressure to deliver the project that was started in 2015. And so the cameras and the fanfare and the big pedestal and the sign-in, don't be fooled. They never wanted the project. In fact, in its final stage, they were provoking the people of Region 10 to come out, protest, as a reason to say why the project should not pass through Linden. If you notice, if you look in the Chronicle, you would have seen a tender was already out for another bypass road, so that they do not necessarily would have had to place emphasis on ensuring that this road comes through Linden.
Wow.
However, we're happy, and I'm happy that the project is going ahead. Region 10 is well positioned geographically, Sherrod, to become a major center for business and finance. And what I would want to ask the administration of the day is that they ensure that the studies report that was completed already for a new bridge across the Demerara River here at Linden, which would help to propel Region 10 further into becoming a real power region, is placed back on the agenda. As you know, that bridge has been taken out of the budget, and that bridge is a critical component of our region's infrastructure, which will complement this road. And so we hope that they will place it in the 2023 budget once the consultation period starts. In addition, I believe with that road and the bridge, I believe we will see increased activity. With the increased activity that is expected along the Linden to Brazil Road, once it is completed, we will definitely see an increase in activity and more so cash flow coming into our region. And of course, so the expected increase in the traffic, as I indicated a few minutes ago, demands a better bridge, a double lane bridge. Currently, the frustration of professionals and people in the region on a morning there when the traffic is built up is ridiculous. And so this bridge should start soonest to ensure that it is completed by the time the road is completed, since I believe it will be easier for vehicles to traverse that corridor there. It will also have a powerful impact on our region when a country like Brazil, that has a large money supply and persons willing to invest, once we are connected to a region like ours that has goods and services to sell our people, of course, they will be able to benefit from work. So this piece of infrastructure is welcome. The bridge as well will definitely, and I believe it will reduce travel time, and it will encourage investment and also facilitate businesses and the interactions with investors and the people here in the region. And so we welcome it.
Yeah, fantastic. Mr. Chairman, I saw a headline somewhere recently which suggests, and I know the Jagabats at work, but I want to give you a chance to respond, that you, Darren Adams, preventing the development of the region. I never heard such madness in my life.
So Sharon, let me put this on record. Let me say this clearly. I welcome the temporary jobs, the 800 temporary jobs. So for the record's sake, let me say this. I welcome the temporary jobs that are coming to the region. My problem is, as I said, I had preferred if it could have been 800 permanent jobs. And then I went on to highlight that while we are being promised temporary jobs, you had somebody like Rudy Small who were firing people from permanent jobs. And I will get into that later in the program.
Mm-hmm.
I am proud. We are all proud of the work that was done under the coalition. We could have done more, yes, but of course our time was cut short. But the important thing that our listeners need to know is that the economic foundation was laid for Guyana taking off as a real powerhouse. It was properly laid. All that needed to happen is for that to be built on.
Correct.
And so in 2015 and even in 2020, the budget acknowledges that were presented by this government that there has been positive growth between 2015 and 2020 for the 3.5%, whooping increase for the first time. So there was no need for people to be in their jobs, and that is all we do. We highlight the things that were there. We highlight that when this government came, they dismantled a highly professional public service. We saw how the Bertram Collins College of the Public Service, where many young people, Amerindian youths, were benefiting from training, and then they were employed. That was dismantled. They were all sent home. We mentioned how the National Data Management Agency that pumped close to 96 million into the region over a 5-year period, that was dismantled. The Ambulance Brigade, 45 million pumped into the region, that was dismantled. And all of these people were fired from their jobs.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
all we do, we spoke of land. Under the previous government, 150 million was pumped into land. We have seen them say that they have to review land board now. This is after,
Mr. Chairman,
small businesses.
Mr. Chairman, one of the things
Go ahead,
I
sir.
want us to talk about as well is the fact that you have a huge stadium sitting there waiting to be completed, right? And you
Well,
can articulate more than most people how the kind of athletic prowess that Linden boasts. And I see them boys now gone and they're promising a stadium to Palmyra, I think, in Region 6. You know, nobody asks for a stadium there. There's one being built for a specific reason in Region 10. They have abandoned that. And you know the reasons. I know the reasons why they have done that. And that is yet to be
yeah,
completed.
yeah. So, Sherrod, you're correct. Region 10 is the talent basket for this country. There's no other region that beats Region 10. We get some competition, I think, with Region 4, but there's no other region that comes close. We have won the championship. We have won the championship over 16 times. Um, and there's no reason why Region 10 should not, and the stadium that was started in 2016 should not be given priority and be expedited. We have our athletes, Shantoba Bright, Daniel Williams, Deshaunus Kid. You know what the coalition did for those athletes and how we were empowering them? Recognizing that they represented us at Carifta, and right now all three of them are on scholarships that they receive studying in the US. We provided them with house lots. We wrote the Minister of Housing saying that it is our hope that you can continue on that path.
Hmm.
Athletes that
Hmm.
performed well, those who came back from the Jamaica Games the other day, it granted them a house lot. That is all we've been petitioning and requesting and making representation for. So we hosted the Queen's Baton Relay here recently. All the athletes came out from the various associations, and our only request at that after that ceremony was for you to complete the synthetic track 2 years after that synthetic track was started. Um, it cannot. It's not a top priority for the administration.
Mr. Chairman,
So
remind us if that is part of the stadium facility or separate.
no, that's separate. This
Hmm.
is a project that was started in 2017, I think. The synthetic track. The other state, the mini stadium that they would have received a grant from the Chinese government, that hasn't started as yet. Persons believe there was some misinformation that I did not want the project and the other leaders. That is totally out of the place. What we argued, we said Amelia's Ward is boasted as being the largest housing scheme in the Caribbean. Why not let's look at the land in Amelia's Ward, put down the stadium there, make sure that we have enough land space for parking and you can have expansion occur, repair or refurbish sports club ground so that in the end, Linden and Region 10 will end up with three facilities: the synthetic track, the mini stadium that the Chinese want to build, and we refurbish sports club. They don't seem to want to support that position. So I said, you know what? Okay, fine. Go ahead and do your work at sports club. The thing is, when you have an activity at sports club, the traffic jam that you end up with there in Greenard Street,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know, I would have preferred you look for virgin land, build a stadium, put on swimming pool, tennis court, golf, wherever you want, put basketball. You get enough land that really is out that you can identify, and we will end up with three facilities. They don't seem to want to support that, and so they're trying to make it appear that we don't want the project that the Chinese, not the government, that the Chinese grant will likely provide for the people of Region 10. So if they don't want to go in that direction and they want to focus on sports club, we support that. I support any initiative that will bring development into the region. And so it is most unfortunate and ridiculous for people to say that I do not want to accept jobs or I don't want to accept programs. That is far from the truth. This is taxpayers' money. And that is why we have to expose
Correct. Correct.
certain other things. This is the hardest hit flood region. But as was indicated, you have the supplies, the cash grant. When it comes to Region 10, they're asking people for the title, for the ID, for the same certificate, everything, and then they're being denied. In other communities, you just got to show your ID and you get a cash grant. Hampers come in, they're staying at somebody, a political activist bottom out, rather than distribute them. They give their supporters, and because they don't have many supporters in the region, when they don't give out the 25 hampers, they don't have anybody else to give. rather than give it to the elected component of the councillors to distribute in the constituency, they are left as a political activist bottom house to get weevil and spoil. That is what is happening. Yesterday I was in Bamia, and the same thing the people said. When they come in to distribute the hampers, they look, they give about 10 people, and then they run out. And the majority of the other people, because they support the coalition, they don't give them anything. So, people should not be fooled. You ask what the coalition did in its office, I will tell you, over 1,000 scholarships were issued to under the APNU, and people from in Region 10 benefited. Len received 150 million for small businesses. Ask them why they have not constituted a board to begin issuing funds to farmers again. Why have they shut the program down? You spoke of the construction of the first ever synthetic track for athletes here in region. Why hasn't that been completed? We decentralized services. So the passport office was built and constructed at Retrieve. Back in the days, we used to have to wake up 3 o'clock, drive down the highway, go and line up outside Camp Street, rainfall, they ain't no shed, nothing. We have changed that. You're now getting your passport in 1 week.
And that is still operational. That's still operational because I think they closed a couple. Good.
You can get your passport. You can get your passport when you're renewing within, I think it's 3 days, and a brand new passport within a week or so. The construction of a new Christianburg primary school, that is a coalition project. ICT hubs all across the region, and NDMA dishes were set up across communities in the Berbice River, Kimbia, Kalkuni, Wirini, Gateway, Deville, all of these communities. Ask them why they have not upgraded the internet access in dish there and the system, because they don't want you to get information coming out from Sheridan Duncan's program. The new nursery school at Bamia was built by the coalition in 2017. Lights, electricity going to the community of Bamia was in 2016. The new nursery school and the health center, as I mentioned, were all in between 2016 and 2019. Sweeper cleaners salaries were increased from 25,000 to 65,000 under the coalition. The PCA, Patient Care Assistant Program, thanks to Valda Lawrence and our visionary leadership. Young people who are employed, ask them why they're issuing dismissal letters to the PCA nurses now. The water ambulance for both the Demerara and the Berbice River were made available to families there who, if they have an issue, they can either go to the New Amsterdam Hospital or to the Kokwani Hospital. For the first time, the 5Bs program, our students benefited from boats, buses, bicycles, lighting up of Burnham Drive and the Winifred Gasket Highway. All of those projects happened under the coalition. Youths receive funding via the Sustainable Livelihood and Entrepreneur Development Program. I would have visited those programs, those projects, and many young people receive funding to start their small businesses. Ask why are all those programs not coming to the region right now? The new RDC building at Spike, we are cramped in a building right now. And we petitioned. The project started. There were some issues with the contractor. We have asked for it to be placed back in the budget. That was denied. So we're going to keep pushing for it to go back into the budget so that we can bring all of the officers of the RDC into one space. A new police station was constructed at Mackenzie and at Wismar. All of those projects happened between 2015 and 2020, or the 19, you got to say. The Kokwani, the maintenance of the road, that was done for over 5 years. Prior to that, people going into Kokwani, they're sticking up. They're taking 5 hours on the road. Now you're meeting Kokwani within an hour and 30 minutes. 2 new logging concessions were given to Ituni. 13,000 tags were issued by the Guyana Forestry Commission to loggers under the coalition. The Workers' Club at Kokwani was rehabilitated after years of neglect. New power generation set up at Kokwani, which allowed 24-hour electricity to the people of Kokwani today. That is a coalition project, 24-hour electricity. For the first time, roads were paved in Ituni. I'm referring here to asphalt road. They never got it before. Houses were built at Amelia's ward for nurses, teachers, and single parents. Right? You would have seen me show you letters where nurses and doctors are being asked to vacate the quarters. A new magistrate court at Wismar. Access to bail refunds and those women who got it.
Did we call the magistrate court at Kokwani?
Well, yes. We built the magistrate court at Kokwani. That was in 2019, I think. And the one at and because of decentralized services, single parents and persons who had matters before the court that had to go all the way to Vreeden Hoop in the West Demerara district to receive their bail funds, they can now do it right here in Linden. Okay, 120 youths benefited from training in ICT through the office of the First Lady Sandra Granger, and of course social protection. and the Board of Industrial Training. They received their certificate, and what was unique about the coalition is that there was always a plan of transition for these young people. So when they completed the ICT program, many of them were employed at the National Data Management Agency, the same area that this administration closed down. And
Here
so that is
projects,
why
boy. Here
when
projects.
when the Minister of Labor came here the other day speaking about 184 young people being employed, I said to him, unfortunately, this is exactly where the current system of government fails us. Because so many Londoners have been put on the breadline recently with their jobs taken away and nothing provided as an alternative. And so I said to him, I shudder to think of what we intend for these 184 that you're boasting that you
Yeah.
just trained.
Yeah.
And how you're going to gainfully, in terms of gainful employment. And I said to him that job creation has to be, it must be a clear and well-structured program like the coalition had of endeavor in our region and not just a flippant handout of temporary jobs. I didn't say I didn't want the temporary jobs, but
Yeah.
I prefer permanent jobs. 800 single parents would have been benefiting from public assistance as against the 250 that we inherited in 2015. What they have started to do is take those people off of the public systems with no plan of place of assisting them. 40 million. There was a facility that was built at 1 Mile Wismar, Early Childhood Development Center, that was constructed in Region 10 under the coalition. A feasibility study on the new Mackenzie Wismar Bridge, and of course the construction of the road. I spoke of that earlier, where we're now happy that the UK funded road is going through, and we're asking the government to put the bridge back into the budget that they removed. The study was already done. Let's just put the bridge back in. Rehabilitation of the Watuka Guest House. You would have seen it had lost its structural integrity, Sherrod. It was rotten. They wanted to
Yep.
sell it
Yep.
to one of
And
the.
looking bleak.
We rehabilitated the Watuka Guest House that now people from all across the country are coming. We outfitted it with a boardwalk. We now have kayaking in the Demerara River occurring there. We have a nice bar, a nice boardwalk that people can come online. All coalition projects after it was neglected. VAT was reduced from 16% to 14% by who? The APNUFC. So do not be fooled. Over 200 youths
Yeah.
from Region 10 benefited from the Citizen Security Strengthening Program. That was through the Ministry of Public Security in collaboration with the IEDV. Of course, you know, the PPP dismantled the program and sent all 20 of the regional officers home. Over 200 youths benefited from that Citizen Security Strengthening Program. You know, so when you talk about youth and a love for youth, our youth, you know, you have to come good. Rehabilitation of the Lycius Hall, that was done by the coalition. So patients at the hospital, you know, they boast that they built a hospital at Linden. But how can you build a hospital without putting anything in it? So when the coalition came to power, guess what? Recognizing that there are many persons who suffer from, for example, kidney failure, that have to be on dialysis. Of course, you know that required the purification of the blood through the treatment of that dialysis that
Yeah.
they are
Yeah.
hooked up to the machine. They no longer have to journey to Georgetown to go to Woodlands or Dubai or this other place, Balwan Singh, twice a week.
Yeah.
Because dialysis you have
Yeah.
to, I think it's 3 sessions you have to do
Yeah.
a week.
As a matter of fact, I think that
Right?
partnership was with Dr. Dubé's uh
Yeah.
clinic, the
So you can
private-public
now
partnership.
you can now have that service done right here. The eye clinic was set up right here under the coalition. What we want them to do now is to bring in somebody with a brain, not really small, who rather than locking out healthcare workers, this guy lives in the US. We thought that he would bring high top of the line technology to the hospital to improve the services. What he brought out of everything, he didn't bring an MRI machine, he didn't bring training for the staff so that they can use, you know, new technology and so on. What he brought, a time machine to monitor what time nurses come to work
Mm-hmm.
and then accuse them of slipping out and sleeping with a sweet man and that kind of
Mm-hmm.
nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
he came from a first world country. You thought that he would bring some, you know,
Even that didn't change his attitude. It's quite striking, quite
you know.
surprising.
So um, it is sad when I'm happy that I'm able to bring these points out Because many people often run away with the idea that, oh, the coalition didn't do nothing. Look at how, and this is not even half of what I was just barely able to scribble that.
Yeah, and that is why,
So,
and that's
you
why
know,
we have this discussion, talking about continuity of government, because it's perhaps Guyana is the only country in this world where a government comes in and try to break down, the good things the other government would have been trying to do, stop the projects and so on that could benefit citizens, all because it's a it's a different administration. We talk about the work at the synthetic track that hasn't been completed. The mini stadium that hasn't been completed. All of that can only redound to the benefit, the athletic productivity and prowess of the region. But all of that has been stalled, and we see people gone in other areas promising stuff, that nobody asks for. There's no studies have been done. There's no justification why they have proposed certain facilities and amenities in those places, but where the things have already been started, they have abandoned them. It is madness, and we're not only talking about what's happening in Region 10, but what's happening in other places as well, and projects that were in the pipeline by the coalition government, that they either complete them, and they take all of the glory, or they abandon them. Right in the national capital city of Georgetown, this new Eccles to Mandela to Eccles road link coalition project. They recently commissioned this, the regional headquarters for the Ghana Police Force in Anna Regina, spanking new building, coalition project. But they never even have this is what it is so mind-boggling. They never have the integrity to say started on the previous administration, right? And to have the dignity to even invite a representative. In any other country, these things are no-brainers. But here, we're so backward. It's frightening, Mr. Chairman.
yeah, so you're correct. We thought that the government of the day would have used this opportunity to continue, as I said earlier, to build Guyana, to build. You're speaking about one Guyana, to build upon that foundation that was laid. You come to the region, you have everybody speaking, then you don't even invite the mayor or the regional chairman to give brief remarks
Yeah,
on this important, because
yeah.
they're afraid would expose and let people know that this is a project that was conceptualized. You have the most qualified person to head the EP, a resident of Region 10, for example, Dr.
Mm-hmm,
Vincent
mm-hmm,
Adams. I'm
mm-hmm.
just shifting a, who was sent home, a man that served with distinction in both the US and in his capacity here, at the EPA. You go on poor management of the COVID-19 situation, as I mentioned, Sherrod.
Yeah, yeah.
Why is Region 10 being targeted? So, you know, at the hospital, I'm getting reports there's 80% drug shortages at Kokwani. It's worse. They don't even have gauze to bandage up a wound, you
Yep.
know.
And we
But
hear.
this government found 95 million to purchase new vehicles for the top officials.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Right?
Frightening,
It,
frightening,
it, it's
frightening.
ridiculous, man.
Mr. Chairman, as we
Right?
as we draw to a close in our discussion, and I'm so happy for the time you've given us today. Um, this project is costing, this Maburu Road project, the Linden Maburu Road project, is costing about 55 million pounds, right?
Yeah,
55 million sterlings.
that was the cost.
Y-
I
Um,
think, yeah, I think there's additional funds as well that will likely have to be pumped into it.
Great. We have noticed at this end there was a very interesting, to say the least, an interesting article in Starbuck News, April 19th, in which former Auditor General Anand Gulsaran was talking about massive, massive failed projects in this country, and how
Yeah,
our people are poorer for it. And one wonders if this, very soon, because it's being executed under this regime, they will suffer a similar fate. Because incidentally and coincidentally, even though Mr. Goldstrand wasn't trying to attack the administration, it was incidental that all of the projects that failed, those huge projects, occurred under their tenure. And we can start with, for instance, the Chetty Jagan International Airport, which Mr. Goldstrand said, 138 million US dollars was spent on this project, and it has failed to reach all of the targets, each and every one of them. As a matter of fact, in his words, it failed completely. He talked about the Skeldon Sugar Factory, 150 million US dollars. The one laptop per family, 7,686,000 US dollars. Then we can go on to the Guyana Brazil fiber optic project, the infamous fiber optic cable project, which former President Donald Rumsfeld, his son, was the project lead on this. Cost us again 32 million US dollars. He said these projects failed completely. And there are a number of other projects. I'm just picking out a couple here. Failed completely. And one has to wonder, I've seen it said repeatedly, PPP do not know how to execute huge projects. Failure, failure, failure. Just recently, I see your boy head is swelling big when CARICOM leaders were talking about the JAGDIO initiative in terms of food security in 2025's food security for the region. That failed completely as well. That is the legacy. Failed project after failed project after failed project. So we cannot argue when Region 10 folks and Linden people are worried that this might just be one of those failed projects.
So, so Sharon, and that is why it's important that people read and get information because you're right. And I want to ask the people of Region 10, since 2020, October, around there when they came in, can you highlight one project that has been executed in Region 10 that you can consider transformation?
Mm-hmm.
There is none.
Mm-hmm.
It's a continuity of all of our projects, and even those that you just mentioned that fail under them. At some point in time, you were wondering what to do because they were warned of many of these things, not to proceed with them, but yet they continue to do it, pump money into sugar, failing sugar industry, and not genuinely focusing on programs that can benefit people, empower people. And so it's a sad situation. I'll give you an example, the highest growth rate, and I was doing some research of the economy under the PPP, was 1.9%. That was the highest growth rate in 23 years. In the case of our turn, the highest growth rate, I think, was about 4.1%. So our performance was more than 2 times better than that of them. And of course, in 2020, you saw it increased about 40.5% growth rate. So when you look at the comparison as to who manages the economy better and projects better, clearly the coalition stands out. Before I go, I want to just highlight two other things that are important, and
Go right
I
ahead,
think
sir.
we need to hammer.
And
One,
I want to get your thoughts too on all these promises made of recent, and what has become of them. You alluded to one earlier on this 800 part-time jobs and these small business grants. Where are we on that? Because I know we've been trying to track some of that. Great, yes, sir.
sir, we haven't heard anything yet, and then that's what I say oftentimes. If the elected component of the council, which is the regional chairman and councillors, are afforded the opportunity to interact with central government, and they don't use just political appointees to execute, then we will be better informed to answer these questions. Nothing has come. We
Mm-hmm.
just know that the applications were sent out and you have to send them back to political people. I hope they're not taking the people information and doing other things. But, agriculture holds great potential in this country and in our region. We don't want to be dependent on the oil and gas sector. And so we want to act that just like how the 300 million that was pumped into the farm to market road at Millie's Hideout there, from the junction at Millie's Hideout in Linden, all the way that leads to places like Ibini, Sandhill, um, and so on, that they put it back on the front burner, pump money into it, so that those farmers at Ibini and Kimbia, who have watermelon and all the other edos and everything spoiling on their hands, that these people can be able to access the road to bring it out back. We plead with them. Secondly, when we were in the Berbice River recently, under the coalition, the people said that, one, pensioners who have to collect their old age pension, the officers in between 2015 and 2020 used to go in monthly and give them their pension.
Mm-hmm.
Now what is happening, they have removed that. They're going in every 6 months. A pensioner in the Berbice River got to wait till June.
Wow.
Right? June to get his pension.
How are you living in this
Now, what
country?
is it. And we hope that an investigation can be launched because what we are told, they haven't gone in January, February, March, April, May. They plan to go in June. Now, if that pensioner who was alive January, February, March, April, May, we're in May now. Let's say that pensioner who was alive January, February, March, April dies in May. The period that he was alive, January, February, March, and April, is forfeited. His family can't access that money.
Wow. 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 And we're hearing as
The next
well,
thing is that,
Theron, in that area
yeah,
there, we're hearing as well that it used to be that, these persons who were distributing the pension would go to the pensioner because these are aged folks. Now these folks got to track
yeah,
for miles to get to where the boat comes to get their pension, and the people don't
yeah.
even have the courtesy to come
So
out of the boats.
that is what the senior citizen said to me when I was in the river there. That they have to navigate the boat landing down the boat landing because the officers sit in their boat. They don't take the time to go up on the bank and set up a desk for our seniors. And then if the seniors are not coming as fast as they think they should, they drive away,
Wow.
right? And so after I would have mentioned that at the press conference, I noticed that a team from Social Protection came to Linden now to tell the board of guardians how they should treat, for example, persons on public assistance. They didn't give them the training when they appoint them. All 8 members who are Indian serving the board, disrespecting Afro Guyanese,
Mm-hmm.
and even in the case of the officer who's responsible for taking in pension, go in monthly. If the RDC has to provide a vehicle for you to go in when they're paying salaries, we will make that available. But ensure that your officers go in monthly and deliver the pension to our senior citizens. You cannot have people waiting so long for their money, right? And so those are two important points that we want to highlight. Right now, it's chaos in the Berbice River because when they go in, they don't allow the community to identify or to vote through a democratic process. So one area, you get the two-show can account for millions of dollars. None of the projects are not being executed. Um, and so the people are calling now for audits and for his removal. And next one is another man. His wife is sick. Fair enough. I told him I sympathize with him. And he wants to step down. But again, accountability issues. Every community that they went in, and they would have in some way uh, manipulated and compromised the democratic process. You're having issues
Yeah.
in those
Yeah. And
communities.
this is what
And
we're
so people
hearing
are
at
now calling.
this is what we're
Yeah,
hearing at Wiki Kalkuni and at Hururu. Very similar issues.
Kalkuni,
Yeah.
Huru, yeah, Vicky Kalkuni, Hururu. And let me tell you, the areas that they allow the process to go fairly, like at Wiruni, the people ain't getting no problems. The two show is being given high in praise. They're executing their projects. They don't have any issue. At Bamia, right here in Linden, same thing. They
Mm-hmm.
went,
Mm-hmm.
they treated a young lady that actually won elections, put in a PPP crony. Now he don't turn up to meetings. He don't, they have not been meeting. The people are calling for his removal. Just yesterday, I met with those residents.
Mm-hmm.
Allow the people to identify who they want. At Rivers View in the Essequibo River is the same thing, right? We just heard that they have cut the feeding program. They feed the snacks that go to the school children. They have cut that program down and slashed it. So the children, if they were benefiting from a proper meal, they're now getting half the proper meal. Half the, it's just sad. And this is all while we are boasting of producing oil and being a powerful economy and all of these things. It's just unacceptable. Allow people to breathe. Allow them to take charge of their lives. And hopefully that's my hope that they will one day. I don't see it happening,
Mm-hmm.
but I hope that this one Guyana policy actually becomes a reality somehow.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, we're nowhere close to one Guyana.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you're on the ground, Mr. Chairman, and if you say it, it has to be true. If you said you're on the ground with the people every day, you're in touch with the issues there in Region 10. We want to thank you again and again for your hard work, sir. Respect and manners, and thanks for coming through in such short notice. We know that you're not feeling 100% and you're using this weekend for some R&R, but while still working, obviously, while still working. Mr. Chairman, thanks again for coming through on such short notice for us.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Have a great weekend. Folks, that's our time. That's our program. Yep. Valid, credible information. Maxine Monroe and Gary Greenidge Valid, credible information. John Sullivan and Chisel Chipper, Ingrid King, Savage Rizal. This is a young man, Darren Adam, that really got the people at heart and wants to see his community develop, the community of Region 10 develop and become all it can be. And I wish we had more regional chairmen like this who got the people at heart and who are fighting out there for the people, folks. Darren Adams, and we're going to continue to give him the whatever support we can from our end, and so that he can continue to do the fantastic work that he is doing. Folks, Rhonda Lane, we see you there, and Beryl Crawford and Patricia Kissoon. We trust that you guys as well are going to have a fantastic weekend. Get some R&R yourself. We work hard all week, and sometimes we got to be gentle with ourselves, and the weekend seems to be a good time as any for some self-reflection, and just to unwind a little bit and get fired up again for the new week, guys. And we're going to continue to cover things at this time. We're going to be back tomorrow with another podcast, same time, same place, below the belt. Who vex lose? We can't do this without you. You guys make these programs what they are. You folks out there, we want to thank you from the bottom of our heart. Guys, continue to support our work, and we feel that love and we feel that support. You all know we got several platforms available for you to contribute. 100% publicly funded programs we have, folks. It all depends on you. We got the Cash App available, we got Zelle available, PayPal, MMG, and we're available via Western Union and MoneyGram as well. Our WhatsApp number is 6276963 if you need any guidance. Our Western Union, our WhatsApp number. Our WhatsApp number 6276963, and we will be giving you any guidance. We'll be happy to give you any guidance you need on how you can partner with us in this way to keep us going from strength to strength. That being said, folks, our WhatsApp number 6276963, and that's our MMG number as well. Thanks for joining us, guys. Really good having all of you today. So continue to enjoy the good weather wherever you are. If you have good weather there, of course, and if not, make the best of it. Make the best of it. That's our time. That's our program. Florence, we see you. Florence Gray and Suzette Washington. Maureen Chichester, Paul, we see you as well. Good to see you. All the Washingtons here. Claire Alexis Charmley Richmond is here as well. Cecile Ogle. Good to have you guys. Guys, that's our time. Stay safe until we see you guys back here tomorrow. Stay safe.